Okay, I got an Audioban A4002T amplifier. Amp is in really nice condition, but I will not put a fuse in it. I will not hook it up to a power source. As soon as you hook a power source up to it and you plug the fuse in, it blows the fuse instantly. Doesn't matter if it's a 60 amp fuse, a 100 amp fuse, a 250 amp fuse. It pops the fuses. All the screws are here. All the Allen heads are here for all the screws and all the terminals. Overall condition, amp is really nice. This little tab here is bent for the foot and for the mount. Sticker is still on the bottom. It's getting a little messed up from being sitting on shelves, but the amp overall condition is clean, real clean. This tab over here is a little bit bent too, but all 4 leg posts are on it, which is impressive for these amps because most times people break them off. Going across to the next amplifier is a Legacy amp. I know you're probably eyeballing up that kicker. I'll get to that later. But old school Legacy LA830, 4-channel, 800 watt amp. Amplifier used to work. I don't know what the condition is, what the problems really are with the amp. It was starting to bounce in and out of signal for speakers, but I had a guy come and he stripped all my screws out. He needed them for his amp, which was identical to this. 225 amp fuses, power remote, ground, as you can read them off, but they're just a basic screw. It's the same size screw as what would be in here for the Bazooka amp. But all the stickers are still here. Overall condition really nice. It's missing 1 screw right here. I've never opened the amp up, so I don't know why the screw is missing, but it is. Inputs, outputs. I know I said I was going to hook all these amps up, but most of them I already remember what was wrong with them. This is the Series 4. You can see the 4 highlighted right here very, very lightly. But some of these knobs are actually pretty messed up. People using the wrong kind of screwdrivers, they dug into them because all it is plastic. Can't really read them, but this one here, you can read. This one here, I can't really read it. I couldn't make it out, but it has to do with channel 1, channel 2 switching. It actually does work. There is 3 settings. It's probably for channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. So it's low pass, full, and high pass. So it's already set for high pass setting because I did run this amp in a guy's car for just his interior speakers. The guy, I don't know what the hell he did to it, but he kept messing with everything in the car and yanked the amplifier out, and when I got it back from him, it did not work properly. It kept shorting out. Another Legacy amp, the LA660, 4-channel, 2 ohms, stable. 800 watt. This is identical to the Series 4. The Series 4 is just an older amplifier than this one here, because Legacy used to just put Legacy on their amps, and then they changed it to American Legacy. But this one here is also missing all the screws and fuse. But this amplifier was working. It would power on, it would put sound out certain channels. Can't remember exactly. It's so freaking long since I actually done anything with these amps. All the switches on this are really nice condition. A little boogered up on a few of them, but overall really nice. RCA inputs are nice. Then going to the back, serial number's still there, model number's still there. And if you remember the other Legacy amp, it was made in Korea. This one was made in China.
Want to be a part of music history? Tune into M-Style Radio on iHeartRadio now at iHeartRadio.com/MStyleRadio and enter for your chance to win a trip to the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas.
Overall condition, fairly nice for its age and its size. It's actually a pretty heavy amplifier. I mean, it's a thick amp. Look at the size of my hand. That's a pretty thick amp. They didn't build them thin back then. They actually made them pretty damn thick. And both Legacy amps are the same size. I mean, there isn't a single thing different about them. Now, sound ordinance is a M4100 4-channel amp. Fairly nice amp. Does not work properly, doesn't power on. I believe this one also blew fuses. I will put power to this here in 1 second. Okay, I added power, put two 20 amp fuses in it. 20 amp fuses doesn't matter, but the issue with this amp was it was always going into protection mode. It would not get back out. The amp was running really hot before it went into protection mode. Before that, it was running great. Then we noticed the amplifier was getting extremely hot. As soon as you would touch it, it would burn you. So we disconnected the power and took it out, hooked it up on the bench test, and it went straight into protection mode. So that would be the issue with this amplifier. It could be the power supply, it could be a bad FET, could be a resistor. Almost dropped it. But overall, the amplifier is in very nice condition. Sticker, serial number, everything is still on the back of the amplifier. Amplifier was never opened. The warranty sticker is still good. It's not cracked, it's not broken, it's not chipped. 12 volt. Here's all the power ratio. Another shot of the back side of the amplifier. All the terminals are really good. The guy did not have the amplifier in the back of his car for very long. I believe it was approximately 3, maybe 4 months that he had it in the car, and he had wired something up wrong. Probably hooked up his speakers in the wrong series and wrong ohm ratio. for the amp to handle? I honestly don't know. I didn't see how he hooked it up. Now this amp here, I don't know anything about. It's an EV amp. Everything is etched into the face of it. It looks like an old school Legacy amp, but it's not. The internal structure of this amp does not even look like a Legacy at all. It actually has inscribed in the side here a local shop to where I live, which isn't all that bad, but it's not all that great. Noise Gate. I've never had a complaint with Noise Gate, but I don't know whose amp this was or what they were doing. It's written on here 1200 watt. Somebody probably had a old amp, they destroyed it and decided to try to build their own amp out of the casing of a used one. But channel 1, channel 2, bridge mode, subwoofer, the gains. And these are large gain knobs, which is very nice. But I've never had the amp to power on. And the reason for that is, if you look really closely, you don't even have to look close. All the screws are missing from this amplifier as well. A lot of the screws got taken by other people for other items. But you can see here, the ground was coming out through here. And this is 8 gauge wire. 8 gauge power wire here. But this little orange wire here is actually the remote wire. The fuse holders aren't in bad condition, they're not burnt. But the amplifier has been opened up 1,000,001 times. Trying to decipher what brand it actually was. I even tried searching the serial number on the back on the sticker here, and got nothing on this amplifier. Made in Korea. I'm gonna believe it's a Legacy amplifier, and somebody had tried to create their own brand by trying to rip off somebody else's equipment and just putting their freaking name on it. But that's the remote wire. It's actually hooked to the remote on the inside of the amplifier. It's all labeled inside. Like, everything's labeled. The power, the ground, the remote, the speakers. It's a weird amp. I've never seen a setup like that internally. It's missing a lot of the housing screws. It's got one screw on that side and one on that side. It's got nothing in the middle. It's got nothing up front. It's only got 2 screws holding the whole bottom of this amplifier together. But it's held together tight because it actually slides into the amplifier this way and then lays down, and these 2 up here actually hold the whole bottom on the amplifier. But I'm going to consider this amplifier a Legacy amplifier. I wouldn't go with any other brand name just because it's made in Korea. And looking at the design of the housing, the way the fins are, the fins on this amp look identical to the Legacy amps, the LA440, the LA660, and so on. Somebody just decided to try to make it something it really wasn't, and they put signatures and other crap on it.